You know what? I noticed too when I'm live, I have to open up the chat because that's what I wasn't doing before.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
a great thing.
because
I thought,
that's how Dr. Connor found us. And he found me live and he was in there typing and I didn't know. That's when he sent me a
mm,
message. Oh, Emily's here. Yay.
oh, she is
Good
nice.
morning, Emily. I'm glad you're joining us. It's 5 a.m. her time.
Oh, I haven't heard from Emily in forever. We wondering, Dawn and I.
Is Emily's on the West Coast?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I'm so
Yes.
glad you're here.
But Emily, we have not heard, we've been, asking about you because we've not heard about you since Desiree left.
Well, Emily's on the West Coast too.
No,
So
I know, but then
hours are early for her.
she still used to be on, like, in the live, pre-market and live, and she just disappeared.
No, I wish. No, I had to take care of my mother. That's why I left
Oh,
you guys.
okay.
Right.
We
And
missed.
thank you. And then she passed away, and then
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
and after that I inherit 10-unit apartment, and I've been busy with that.
Oh, well, that's kind of a good thing to be busy with.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm sorry to hear that, Emily.
Yeah.
So
When did she pass, Emily?
in April.
April this year? Oh
Yes,
my
this
God.
year. I've been busy these last 2 months.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can.
And
that's a lot.
and before that, I was taking care of her health, so I didn't have time to be. I did want to trade, but I couldn't because I was taking care of her.
No, you got to take a break. At times
Yeah.
like that, it's good that you take a break and get your mind right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm glad you're there.
yeah. Oh, I'm glad you're back. Glad
Yeah,
you're back. Yes, yay.
right.
yeah. I'm glad to see you, hearing from you guys. I miss this group.
Uh,
I
nice.
know, we're like a little family.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to screen share here so we can take a look at these charts. SPY is going, guys. They're going.
Mm, I know.
Look, you
Ain't
got
no
them.
stopping us now.
Their strength is insane. All right, let me do like the screen share here.
Bye, man.
All right, guys. Can you see my charts?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right, guys, so we're gonna go over this. So I'm looking at the hourly right now because this is where I draw my zones right here on the hourly, and I wanted to take a look to see if we have to recalculate. So as the market moves, we have to calculate our support and resistance. So we are like we're heading to the next resistance level. So let's draw this next resistance level, which is about here. All right, let's take this off. All right, good morning, Londo.
Good morning, Des. Good morning, everyone.
Hey, Londo.
Hey,
All
Ruth.
right. Emily's back.
Hi.
Hey, Emily.
All right. So this is now the new support, guys. And I knew once we push above this 437 level, like we were gonna gain strength because we did hold 431, which signaled that we wanted to reverse and keep it going around here. See this area right here?
Yeah.
Let's see. And now we're just going and breaking that 436 was big too, because that was that was also where the 200 MA sit on the hourly. So let's go back to the hourly here. And once it got above this, that's how you know we were strong, because you can see we were staying below the 200 MA for a few days, and we finally got back above them. And when we're above the 200 MA, it signals strength. So this was the area we needed to push above in order to maintain strength. And you can see that's what we're doing. So we recreated the support and resistance. And so support now is going to be the 436, 437-ish area, what we had to break, this area right here. So we finally broke above, and now we're sitting here, and you can see we're kind of creating a small bullish flag. Now, the only thing is we're so overbought, guys. We're very overbought right now. But this is the resistance, the new one, 441. And let's take a look on the daily to see what that looks like. All right, so that's 441 right here. Here. So 441. So even if we can create this flag and keep it going, that would, and then because remember the 437 or that 430, 437, 430-ish area, that's a very strong area because that's where the 200 MA sits. So even if we can come back when we get up here to test it and hopefully create a double bottom, this would be more signs of forward momentum. But we do need to make sure we can hold. I did look at the higher time frames to see when the actual like resistance was, and I'm thinking we're looking at about I'm going to show you guys in a minute. I think it was like a 454 somewhere around there. So hold on, let me take it back. Let me try it up here. Okay. All right, so these are going to be your levels for the day. If we can't hold it, more than likely we'll take it back to support. If we do hold it, we'll take it to the ceiling, and that's 441. But going back to this monthly time frame, I was looking at what is how far could we potentially go? So it was up around this area right here. I'd say before we hit a resistance wall, probably back to where it tipped at. You see, it tipped here and then it pulled back around that area. So this is our area of interest right here. This area, about 454.66. And you can see it held as resistance, and prior to that, it was support, then resistance again. So you can see how strong this 454 area is. So once we get to this 454 area on the daily, which is about right here, that if we can make it this far up, this is going to be potential area where we start pulling back, or we're going to start seeing a lot of red in the market if we can even make it this far up. But again, this is where we tipped at here, and you can see how strong it is here. All right, let's look at the weekly. Yeah, it tipped, rejected. Dang, man, this we did tip up here. This is crazy. So we did like touch it and then it rejected, but you can see it's really strong. It's a very strong area, like resistance, support, resistance. And this is I'm on the weekly right now. So these are weekly candles. All right. Let's see what our potential is for the day, though. The only thing I can say about today, really, because I am showing strength, but also I'm showing like how overbought we are too, guys.
And
like
it's
right now we're at, for the hourly, we're at 93.02. But look, the last time we got up here, we kind of stayed overbought for a while, and that's why we had this little strength and this trend. But remember, we're also, I keep saying this, but it really means a lot, is we are in a breakout. We're in a breakout here in the higher time frame. So when we are in a breakout, because we broke out around here. So when we're in a breakout on the higher time frames, there's always, you always feel that strength in the market. So this was the breakout candle. So this was the time when we were, when we were consolidating and we kept rejecting that 417 level, but we finally broke out of it. And I am going to keep saying it because it tells a story. It means a lot. When you're analyzing in a breakout, you're going to see a lot of strength on these lower time frames where they just keep going and going and going. And that's kind of what
today is a monthly close too. So it'd be interesting to see how we close the month today.
And a weekly. It's monthly and weekly.
Oh, that's right. It's the 30th. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let's look out. All right, so the weekly. So this is, and look, guys, you can kind of even see on the weekly, you have this uptrend right here, right? And then you had this little consolidation period. This is the 417. This is when we broke. This was the month of June. This is when it started because we opened up in the month of June really nice. And so now here we're in June, which we got a mini pull right here. This is 441. This is crazy. This was our resistance today. This is a resistance that we just created on the hourly chart, the 441. And then this is the 431, 430-ish. And I'm just estimating right now because I'm doing crazy little drawings. But you can see here the pole, the flag. And what you do notice is everything is above the 200 MA right now. So we're above the 200 MA and we're creating higher highs. I mean, lower highs rather. Or no, higher highs. I always get mixed up. Higher highs. So this is high and these are higher highs, right? This is a higher one. So you got the little flag here. You did your consolidation. You broke out. Now we're consolidating. Like you said, the thing is for this week, we want to stay above 431. We know we don't want to lose 431. If we lose 431, you can see how it's breaking, below. Now, again, it doesn't mean that we're downtrending because I think at some point we're all going to come back and test down here, at least in the 420s at some point. But I'm thinking it's probably going to hit its high first before it comes back down to test back into the 420s, maybe around like 450-ish or somewhere around there, if we can make it that high. But we do got a lot of strength. I don't think, we already tipped it up here. We already tried to. And you can see that, it came back. It hasn't closed above that level, but it's definitely tipped it. And that's, again, resistance, support, resistance. It's a very strong level, okay? But we can see how we close today, like you said, to see where we're at. As long as we stay above 431, we're still good, which I think we will. Unless there's some big catalysts to come out, Friday's very volatile, so we have to be careful because you can have a massive move up or down on a Friday. But I think holding above 431, we're still in a great space. If we break through 441, perfect. If we just consolidate in between, it can just be a more room for just, we may consolidate more. And as you see, we can consolidate anywhere between 6 to 8 to 11 candles. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This was seven candles before the breakout, and created another pole. Right now we're 1, 2. It's only 3 weeks right here.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we consolidate between these levels, you can see we're still on pace because it's only 3 weeks of consolidation. This was 6 weeks of consolidation before the breakout. But what you can see overall is that we're creating higher highs. So we're going up and we're making bullish patterns and we're above the 200 MA right here. And then this would be our, if we break out of this flag, that would be the breakout, which would be the resistance of the 454-ish area of a breakout of this flag, right? Because you got this little pole here, and then you would create another pole. But I think at that point, that's when we got to really pay attention because it's a strong rejection. Rejection here, support here, rejection here, or resistance. Resistance, rejection, same thing, guys. So resistance, support, technically resistance, but here it touched on top of it. So this would be our next resistance, which makes sense because we're coming into overbought on the daily. On the weekly, we'll be coming into overbought on the daily, right? So we'll be exhausted around this once we get to this area here. So yeah, it'll be good to take a look and see how we close. And now let's get all this crap out. Okay. So this is where we're at. So yeah, how we close today will also determine a lot. As long as we stay above this level, we're good. And it would have to come way down here. So you can see this was the breakout. So closing below 430 is signs that we want to keep going forward because that it keeps us in that flag on the weekly. But you can see that the breakout in June, we just need to stay above 417, 420. And that's what I keep saying, like the overall, because I look at the big picture. As long as we stay above 417, we're good because that's the floor now, right? And we generally don't just fall through the floor. It'll be a lot of push and pull before we fall through the floor, but we're not even nowhere near the floor right now. And today is the last day. So for me, it's an official breakout. Not only did we open up above the resistance level, but we're also holding it. We opened up above this resistance level in June, and then now we'll see where we open up in the month of July. If we can open up above 441, that'll be perfect because then we'll be opening up higher than the close. So I don't know. It's good, like you said, Lundell, it's really good to pay attention to see where we open up at. or where we close rather, and then open up. Okay. Now today, like I said, we just got to pay attention to our zones because we are overbought. And that's my only thing, even though we're way above the, and we're pointing up too. Here, we're only at about 82. Even though we're way above the 200 MA, we have been going and going for some time. So you just got to trade. You just got to allow the market to tell you where it wants to go. Okay. So we know that our support is about down here. Let me do it this way because I'm confusing myself. I don't know, guys, because we're moving. I'm not changing it because of the move. You see how we're moving pre-market? The thing is support and resistance recalculates as the market moves. So I'm recalculating because we're moving right now. See? We're already at 440. Do we have any news? All right. So this is going to be our new levels because I'm going based on current price action right now. So we got 440. We got about 442 for the resistance. Right now we're at this here. We're kind of above it right now. So technically this is the new support. And then we got this level down here, which is almost at like the 200 MA. Let's move that up a little bit though. Let's see. All right, let's do this, these levels here. 436.49, so 436 to 439, that's $3, and then 439 to 442, 39.44, that's about $3 too. Okay, so these are gonna be our levels here. Let me confirm it on the other time frames. Because we have to redo them because it's moving so fast. And I feel like every day that I'm up here, we're recalculating these levels here. That's how fast SPY is moving right now. Okay. So, and this is how I find it, guys. Just so you know, I look at where the most touches have been and how many times have these levels been used as support and resistance. So this last support here, you can see here that it broke through. It held it as support, stayed above it, held it as support here, came down, it became resistance, resistance here, resistance here. So that's how I found this bottom level here. And we already know that this is a very strong area. Staying above this level will signify more strength. But I'm actually looking at more of the information that I see over here in order to determine the level. Here, the reason why I use this one right now, we're above it. So of course it's support now, but you can see how it kind of tipped it here as resistance here, but primarily it was holding as support over here. And it was resistance over here because they couldn't even break through it until this candle came and popped above it. And this was a breakout candle, stayed above it, and then came back down. And then, of course, our next level of resistance is over here by the new high. And this is where it closed. And remember, we are looking at the closing of the candles. So even though it tipped higher here, I'm looking at the closing. So it closed here, closed here, closed here, closed here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm only on the 4 hours. So 4 hours, a lot of white noise. It's not a lot of information, but also I'm just looking for current movement now. Just current movement. That's it. I don't need a lot of information to find the levels for today, right? So these are only about $3 moves here, or $3 gaps here to right here. But again, we're pretty strong, but you have to just follow the markets. I mean, if we fall below this level, then more than likely we're going to come back down. If we can hold it and keep going, this is our next level. If we break through this, we're going to be hitting new highs. I mean, new highs on like lower time frames, because the last high was 443.9. So, and then you can calculate it. If it does break above and we get a crazy move, then you just calculate an additional $3 more, because that seems like the gap here. Okay. So, I mean, I see a lot of bullish momentum. I see a lot of strength right now. I don't know what to tell you. Like even the fact that we're overbought, I'm still seeing a lot of strength just because of the higher highs being above the 200 MA, breaking these levels. I'm still seeing strength in the bulls. But let's look at SQQQ right now. Any questions? Anybody?
No.
I swear to God, we have not freaking changed this. We've been in this zone for a long time. Like I haven't moved the levels here in SQQQ. Like,
yep, I'm so upset with SQQ.
It's moving so freaking like a freaking turtle.
Yep.
All right, so we're still here in 1945, but we are coming down on support. We are coming down here on support. We're also coming up on that new high around like 443 too in spot. But you can see the support level we've been holding. I mean, we came down here last at 18.73, right? And then that's when we kind of made that turn, stayed in between these levels, but we're rejecting the 200 MA. So we cannot get above the 200 MA to save our freaking life. But that's the same thing with SPY, like we're staying above the 200 MA, and they're inverse of each other because this SQQQ is inverse of QQQ. So it moves in the opposite direction. So it makes sense. It just confirms what you already know with SPY. So right now we're below the 200 MA. We're still down. We can't even get past this resistance, let alone this resistance wall. So it does appear that we're heading back down. Let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah, same thing here. And you can see we're creating higher lows. Higher, this is a high, this is a higher low, this is a higher low. And just like in SPY, we're creating higher highs. When you're creating higher highs, you're going up. Creating higher lows, you're going down, right? And just overall, like if you just look at the freaking trend, you can see it's in a downtrend overall. So it's weak, right? And when you're trading a weak trend, you can't really expect too much. The only thing is it's opposite. It's very oversold. It's coming very low. It's hitting this new low. It's coming down to this new low here. This is an actual low, 18.73. This is the lowest low. So if we fall below this, then of course you'll see more than likely you'll see a lot of bearish momentum. But for the last, how many every days, they've been holding this 18.73 area. So, and we're coming down on it, and we're very oversold. And so SPY is becoming overbought. So that's why I said it's good to just follow your day-to-day trades right now and just follow it and let the market tell you where it wants to go. But be prepared at any point for a possible rejection, possible pullback. You just know your resistance levels. All right. And let's look at QQQQ because they are directly in opposition here. All right. So all this crazy drawing in QQQ. Well, this is the, let's clear this out. Let's go to the daily. And they look like SPY too, guys. You can even see how the shape is very similar to SPY. But let's go to our levels here and find our resistance. 1, 2, tip here, out of support here. I like this one better though. See, because of the close. Even though the wicks, like I like the wicks, but the wicks to me, it shows me like, who's in control, buyers and sellers, how far they got before it came down. But when I look for my support and resistance levels, primarily we look at the closing. So you can see how it closed here, closed here, closed here, closed here. So that's why I said I like this level better. I mean, it's hit here, but this is primarily what I look at is the open and close. The open and close on these price levels. All right. So this is support around here. Same thing. Close, 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 hit tip. And then this would be the next level. All right, close. Technically, this closed a little bit below, tip, 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 but this is more touches. Because even if I take it up to here, it would be only the close here, but I don't see other touches. But it did close here, and you have these touches. So I'm just looking at what makes the most sense because we're only calculating these levels for current price action right now. So I have to start here with what's happening currently and then draw the levels based on current price action, especially when we're finding day-to-day trades. All right, so let's see if it makes sense in the hourly. All right, so we're on top of this ceiling right here. We got support here. This is 361 to 365. So this is about $4. This is 57 to 61. So it's about $4. So I don't know. Does anybody know what the ATR is on QQQ right now?
I'm sorry, Desiree, you said what?
Do you know what the ATR on QQQ is right now?
Wasn't it about $6? Like either the same with SPY or a little more, somewhere around there.
Well, these are $4 gaps here. So what I did was I took the support out underneath because it looks like we want to push through this ceiling here. So and look, remember guys, when you have a support and you have a resistance, a lot of times this is how you can tell like which way it could possibly go is the amount of times it keeps touching. Like we touched support down here, we held the 200 MA, even though this acted as a means of support, we're barely touching it here. But what we do see is that we keep trying to burst through the ceiling here. Here, I mean, we did here, we rejected it though, but you can see we kind of broke above. And then here we came back to the ceiling, tried to burst through it. I mean, we're literally spiking through it. Here we touched it. Here we're right on top of it. And now we're right on top of it again. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is four rejections, technically 4 rejections. I mean, we created a pattern here with 4 rejections. And generally anywhere between 3 to 4 rejections would be a potential breakout. So based on the calculation and based on how many times they're touching, it is a sign that they would rather break through the ceiling than come back down to support. But if we do reject it at open, you just got to follow the market. You got to let the market tell you what it wants to do. Let the market tell you what it wants to do, especially being Friday. We're volatile. Fridays are very volatile. So it could go either way and it can go massive. I mean, many people, and look at them moving. A lot of people have lost money on Fridays because of the volatility. Yes. And then it'll appear one way pre-market, and then all of a sudden the market will open. That shit will it'll straight turn around. So
I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
The ATR is 528.
528. So we got about a $4. So we're right on the money, guys.
Yes.
Good. And you can see how these levels don't lie. I didn't even really know because the ATR changes with the stocks. The ATR is just an average. So depending on how much the stock has moved, it can change the average of the ATR. So that's why we always got to check to see what the ATR is. But if you can find your support and resistance first and then go back and see what the ATR is, it kind of aligns with what you're doing. But for me, I don't totally use the ATR. I do draw my own zones, and then I use the ATR to confirm, my levels, because it would make no sense if I am creating my support and resistance and say it's $2, but the freaking ATR is $10. That wouldn't make sense, right? Because we know that the stock on average moves about $10. So my gap should at least be around that range. A couple dollars off is okay, but it's better to be safe than it is to try to overdo it. You know what I mean? So for a $6 ATR, I'd rather have a $4 gap than a $8 gap.
Exactly.
Because if I have an $8 gap, it's like, you know, the stock don't move $8, right?
Right.
So, but look, guys, this is what happened. We have any catalysts? What was the catalyst?
Londell?
Londell. What about right there? You're my catalyst.
I know. I went to look and I got distracted. I forgot.
I didn't look. I'm driving because this is my driving time.
Oh.
So, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
I'll
Well,
do
we're kidding
Well,
you.
I will look while
There's
Desiree.
definitely some catalyst. This is a catalyst move. This is definitely a catalyst move. I don't know what's going on this morning, but this is definitely a catalyst move.
Yeah, let me
And
go
it's
look
moving at
while
8
you're doing
82.
this.
Yeah, it broke through the ceiling. And that's what I'm saying. Rejection, rejection, rejection. On top of the resistance, and it broke through the ceiling. So now if we can maintain this move above right now, and we can open up above this level of 365, then this will now become your new support if we can hold it. And if we close today, and because it's not only a daily, it's a weekly and a monthly. So depending on how we close today is going to tell us a big story on Monday.
Oh,
Tell us a big story on Monday. Yep.
it looked like I was just looking, at 8:30, we got a lot going on. At
Yeah,
8:30,
I can tell.
personal income, personal spending, PCE index, core PCE index, PCE, and core PCE. That's a lot. And then at 9:45, you have Chicago Business Barometer. And at 10, you have consumer sentiment. Not sure how all this is gonna affect.
I don't know, guys, but I invited Chris to join us in the mornings. He said he'll let me know next week because he's a really good catalyst guy. But I told him he has to behave.
I know. Good luck.
Yeah,
Good luck on that.
You out right away.
But it should be fun. It would definitely spice things up.
Yeah. Plus, I do miss Chris because and one thing about Chris is he's really, really good with catalyst. Very good with catalyst. Like he literally trades just as a catalyst trader. And for me, trading as a price action trader and having that collaboration, it definitely, oh wow, this shit is going. I'm just going.
Yes, and
Like,
he
I
has
want
all
some
the markets,
freaking
the
Hooter wings right
the
now.
foreign markets
Hey.
information.
This is
Oil.
this is the next freaking. Yeah, let's take it down.
Yeah, it's running.
Yeah.
It's going for 442.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it down though because I'm gonna take it below these candles instead of the top of it. But guys, this is crazy. Like opening up above 441. This is insane. Let's see if we can maintain this.
Yeah.
And I felt all of this strength, guys. I'm telling you, like I be feeling in the market. I be feeling when it's like low. I feel when it's when it's strong because it's all energy. To be honest, like when these markets are moving like this, it's just people pushing money into the markets, right? And when it's a lot of selling, it's people taking their money back, selling, and you could literally feel like the strength in the market versus like the no volume versus a lot of volume. And I could feel the strength. And that's why I said, even though we're like overbought, it's still so much strength in the market right now. But still, I always say be cautious because we're coming to these highs. We're coming up on these ceilings and like we're overbought, but we just push through it. And now what we're gonna have to freaking do if we can maintain this volume. Well, I think we should just keep it like this for right now because even if we can maintain this volume, the next level up is gonna be about 443, 444-ish. I'd say around like where this tip is here, above here. That would be your next level up, which is about 443.28 if we can maintain this hold.
Wow.
This is a big move pre-market. This is why I feel like this was a catalyst move because it just went. And if you look at it on the 1 minute chart, you can see that. Bing.
Well.
Yeah, that's this candle happened in 5 minutes from here to here. Now the goal is, can we hold it? Can we hold it? The buyers pushed it up, but is the sellers gonna be able to hold it? I mean, overall, though, we are very strong. We are very strong. I'm like interested in some Apple right now. high of 192. We said about 190. That was our market for Apple. We're hitting 192 right now. Let's go. And this is, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is the 4-hour chart. Apple's been freaking going crazy. And on the higher time frames, technically this is the ceiling. This is the ceiling for people who are long Apple. This is the mark to get out. But as we know, even though we have, even though we're pretty much at the mark, when these highs hit like this, when these breakouts hit like this, you really can't determine if it could definitely go higher. You can't really determine that. But the thing is with Apple, they're so high right now and they're so overbought. Like right now on the 4-hour, we're at 90. On the daily, we've been overbought. Look how long we've been overbought. We're at 94. On the weekly, we're about 88. So every single time frame, we're overbought. 93.
Wow.
Even the lower time frames, 92. 91. Except, I don't think we're too much overbought on the monthly, no, but with the lower time frames, we are coming into exhaustion. Guys.
Can you imagine? Apple is almost at 192.
95 on the daily. That's pretty high. The last time it got there at this peak, look at this peak here. Let's take a look. This was 94.27. It got to this peak. We know that this is Apple. Apple runs like this. This is not anything new for Apple. Apple goes, right? So the last time we were here. Okay, so this was around January. Let's go back to, where do we see that on the daily? But this time it's freaking going. It's going. All right. So here we got to 94.76, right? And we went into overbought. On the daily, we're at 94.27 right now. The last time we were that high, it was 94.276. See this tip here? See how high we got? We was having a run, and then look at this pullback. This pullback went from $174 a share back down to $138 a share. And this was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So this was about a month. About a month, and went from 174 to 138. But this is called a pullback. A pullback is when you reach your highest peak and then you have to come down in order to it's like regather yourself. That's what you can call it, regather yourself. Right? But really all it's doing is creating patterns so that it can continue to keep running up. Because even though we pull back here to the 138, we still stayed above, we still maintain the trend overall. It's still, let's go to the week so we can see more information. And that was in August, which was around here. So we had this pullback, we pulled back, we ran up, we pulled back, but we kind of created a low, but then that's when we went up, but we stayed above the 200 MA, right? So for me, with Apple, I mean, at least at the very least, when they do pull back, at least 174. 174 is a good support area for Apple right now when it is time for them to pull back. But at this time, if you purchase an Apple right now, you're just purchasing at the ceiling. We don't purchase calls at resistance. We don't purchase calls at resistance, guys. I mean, if you're going to day trade it and get your little $1, $2 and get out, that's one thing. But to hold, it's really not advantageous because we purchase calls at the floor, not at the ceiling. That's what you would be doing. You would be purchasing calls at resistance. Okay. Let's look at Tesla.
Oh yeah, I forgot to.
All right. So this is the daily. So we had a little doji here on Tesla yesterday. And this is the top of the ceiling here. Let's see. I bet you Tesla's running too with the market. Let's see where Tesla's at right now. It closed at 257.
Not really. Well,
yeah, they're kind of stagnant a little bit. We're at 259 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, what did I say? Oh, that was the 1 minute. Never mind. I was about to say this is a double top, but this is just white noise. Let's go to the 1 hour. Oh yeah, they got strength though. Look at this. This is definitely a bullish strength here. This is what, the 4 hour. Oh yeah, they still got some strength here. I don't know how short-lived it is, but it's strength. See this? Ceiling. They're trying to burst through it. What's the ATR on Tesla Ruth Ann?
I have to look again because they change.
Yeah, because they move. Their moves are so freaking crazy. So let's see, I got 245 to 252. That's about $7. And then 252 back to 259. Yeah, it's about $7. 1091.
Yeah, it had changed.
All right, so these gaps are about $7 here. And right now we're bursting above, even pre-market, you can even see Tesla's bursting above the ceiling here.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty strong area. Look, it closed here. These are all, this was support. Tipped here, right? Tipped here is resistance. We're back on top of this resistance, looking like we want to bursting through, like we want to burst through, right? And then we had some movement around here a little bit, resistance, support. But really here, it was strong, sitting on support. Then it fell through, and then even like it trying to come back and break through the ceiling. But it does appear that they want to break through the ceiling. Like in even here on the 4 hour right here, the way that this is pointing up, because I study these patterns here on the slow RSI, it's the only one I use. Because I've been studying these patterns on the slow RSI for years. And I haven't used anything aside of this because I like to match the patterns with my price. And that's why I can really see like a lot of strength. I use the RSI, I use everything, like the way they point, the way they make patterns, how they form, if they're going up, the little curves, like everything. But that's because I don't use a lot. But the little bit that I do use, I use in every way you can imagine. Like even with this 200 MA, I'll use it as support, resistance, for strength, rejection, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I use it in all kinds of different ways, and then I use it on all my time frames. So same thing with the slow RSI. I use it in combination with the 200 MA, but just as much. And here I see that it's a pattern of like the bullish pattern.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I see here, and I can see also they're trying to bust through. There, let's go for the hourly as well. Yeah, you can even see here low, higher. Again, it's still when you have lows and you have higher lows come in, it's all bullish signs, and you can even see we're pointing up right now above 50. So I do see some strength. So what I would do is take this one off and just create a new resistance here, because we have to recalculate these levels like as it moves, because that's no longer support down here. This is now your support, which is sitting on top of the 200 MA. So that's confluence. So the fact that we have this level and we have it sitting on top of the 200 MA, that's confluence to show me, okay, you're on the right track. Because I like to see 2 or 3 more things that tell me the same thing. So we got support here at 252.6. We're at the ceiling right now at 259. If we burst through the ceiling, this would be the new ceiling at 265.8. And based on what I see right now, we're literally trying to burst through it. And you can see a flag, guys. You can see the flag. Holding this 200 MA means that we want to hold this pattern. So as long as we hold this 200 MA, then we will be holding this flag. But as you can see, we don't have a lot of touches at the floor. We started with some touches at the floor, but you could see it created higher lows. This is a low, this is a higher low. So this is also indicating a lot of strength. And now we're right literally on top of the ceiling, trying to burst through it, okay? And as you see, SPY bursted through that resistance. So QQQ, because the market, we had some catalysts this morning that pushed it up. So now the question is, can we hold it? So guys, that's what I got for you this morning. I know you got to go, Ruth Ann, you got class, but and Emily, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really, really missed you. I missed you. It's been a long time, because even when I was doing the show, I didn't like towards the end, I didn't see you as often as well. So I'm definitely glad you're here with us again.
Oh, thank you guys. I'm glad to be back.
Happy to have you back.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. All right, guys, you all have any questions for me?
Nope. I guess I gotta go now.
All right, well, you all have a good morning and I'll see you Monday.
You too,
Happy-
Desiree. Have a
happy
great
Friday. Take
weekend.
care.
All right,
Okay.
Monday's a holiday.
No, Tuesday is a
It's
holiday,
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. Okay.
but you can have Monday
check.
off.
Hold on, is the markets open on Monday? Oh, no, they're closed Tuesday. They're closed Tuesday, guys.
Yeah, so it's a weird thing in the middle of the
Yeah.
week, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why it's not going to be a lot of
In the
movement.
middle of the week.
I think it's going to be a lot of stagnant energy. We're going to have some movement today, potentially, and probably some stagnant energy next week. Yeah. You know, all the investors, they're out on their vacation. It's going to be slow in the market. All right, guys. So you have a good day.